Earth Day is a time when we can think about actions we can do to help our environment. And the microbit can be used in so many different ways for environmental projects in STEM activities. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to create a counter. Perhaps your school is uh, picking up pieces of trash in your class or in your school. You can estimate how many pieces of trash do you think we can pick up? And then you can keep track on one or more microbits. Keep track of all those pieces. Or maybe you're collecting recyclable materials. Make predictions as a class. How many pieces do you think we can get? And then keep track. There's a little bit of storage on this microbit computer, and we're going to use that storage through something called variables. All right, so we're going to go to makecode.microbit.org. We're going to click on New Project. You can call it Earth Day Counter, or you can call it whatever you like. And when we get into this program here, what we're going to first start to do is we're going to go into something called variables. Now, a variable is a value of something that can be changed, okay? And that value is what we're going to be counting up as pieces of trash or pieces of recyclables or any other things we're keeping track of numbers, okay? And so I'm going to make a variable here. You can call it whatever you like. I'm going to call it counter. And as soon as we do that, you'll see there are a whole bunch of new blocks that are created around our new variable that we created. You can create more than one, but right now we're just going to use one. All right, here it is. It's the counter variable. So we're going to start off this program as soon as our program starts, we're going to set the value to 0. Now, what we always want to do is use our screen. We're going to display the value of this, whatever's in the counter. So what we want to do is to be able to use these buttons to increase and decrease the value of our counter, okay? So what we're going to do is use the forever block, and we're always forever going to show the value of this. So I'm just going to click on here, and we're just going to use the show number, okay? Now, notice that this number part in here is kind of circular. It's kind of got rounded corners. So what we're going to do, we don't want to show the number 0 forever. We want to show the value of our counter. So see this block here, how it has rounded corners? It kind of can fit in there. So we want to drag this out and watch when I get close. See that, how it kind of connects on there? It's basically letting you know, hey, this piece fits in here. So this is what we want to do. Forever, we want to show the number, our value on that counter. Now, how do we want to increase and decrease that value of our counter? Well, I'm going to use the B button. Every time I press the B button, let's make this number go up by 1, and then it'll just display it on the screen forever, right? So we're going to use the input, and let's go. We're going to need a couple of these, because what happens if I press this accidentally and it goes up a second time and I didn't mean it to? Well, I want to use this A button to make it go down a number, okay? So I'm going to use this button a couple of times, and I'm going to have one that is set for when we press the B button and one when we press the A button. In fact, why don't we make a third time when we press both buttons together? We can reset this back to 0 if we want to use it next time. So I'm just going to bring that out a third time. And by the way, you can always just right click, or if you're on a Chromebook, 2-finger press on your trackpad, and we could duplicate this button. So this one, I'm going to say when it's A and B. So here we go. So we're going to program 3 different buttons onto this computer. All right. So when we press B, we want it to go up 1. So let's go to our variables, and we're going to use this one right here, change the counter by 1. So every time we press the B button, it's going to change the value by 1. And the cool thing about having this virtual microbit here on the screen is that we can just try it out. Watch this. See, I click it and it goes up by 1. Click it again, goes up again, and shows the value on our screen. Makes sense, right? Well, let's make this, when we press A, let's make it go down by 1. Okay? And to do that, we're going to use this same block here. So I can, again, 2-finger press on the trackpad, duplicate, but we don't want to increase it by 1. We want to increase it. We want to change that counter. We want it to go down 1. So we're just going to say -1. We're going to change the counter by -1, by -1. So when we press B, it goes up by 1. And when we press A, it goes down by -1. So let's see if that works. B goes up, B goes up. Let's go down to A, back down to 1. Bingo, works. And when we press A and B, we want it to reset. So can you see a button or a little command block on this screen that would already do that for us? Yeah, it's this one right here. Set the counter to 0 when we press these 2 buttons together. Basically start over. Okay? So we can just copy this one, or you can find it. Do you remember which one of these you can find that? Yeah, it's over here in the variables. So it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to set the counter to 0 when we press both buttons together. All right, here's our updated code. Let's do a final check. B makes it go up, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're counting pieces of trash in the garbage in the field. And oh, I pressed it too many times, so I want it to go down 1. Now, obviously, there's no way on your, you can't click on 2 different things at the same time on your virtual microbit. So on your real microbit, you would be pressing both of these buttons together, but they just give you a little button here called A and B, just pretending that you were pushing both of them at the same time. Do you see them flash when I press that? And it reset it to 0. Great. So the final thing we have to do is we have to connect it to our microbit and get the code on here. So to do that, we're going to need this little USB cable, our micro USB cable plugged into our Chromebooks or our laptops. Okay, we're going to plug this in. See a little light turn on, you know something good's happening when that happens. Okay, now we need to connect. Don't forget, I like to, every time I'm making an update to my code, I like to reconnect to the same microbit right through my web browser. Here's how we do it. Settings gear. You're going to go down to Connect Device, and it's going to walk you through a little tutorial. First, make sure your microbit is connected to the USB cable. Yes, already got it. Connect your microbit. Ready? Here we go. Aha, there it is. There's our microbit right here, this one. Click on it and choose Connect. And now we're connected. So now all we have to do is go download. Now watch what happens. As soon as this downloads, bingo, there it is, it's 0. Does it work? Well, let's try. I'm going to press the B button, goes up by 1. Press the B button again. Does it go down when I press the A? Yes, it does. Push them both together and back to 0. Good, that's exactly what we want. Now all we need to do is get batteries and get our battery pack, and we plug that in after we unplug this. We want to make this mobile. We can just plug it right into the top. Now you can talk to your teacher about this next part here, but I've been told by some friends of mine from the Education Technology Council at the Alberta Teachers Association that sometimes it really gets sticky for this little battery pack to come out. And they recommend that you kind of shave this little notch that's sticking out of the power thing, that you shave it down a tiny bit so that it'll more easily come in and out when you need it to. Because once I put this thing in, it's really hard to get out. So anyhow, there it is. There is our Earth Day counter. So I recommend that you, if you want to do this as a class, make some predictions to start off with, what you think is going to happen. And if you have 10 microbits or 20 or however many you have available to you as a class or as a school, divide them up and make your prediction, either for what your class is going to collect or pick up and keep track of with the counter. And then as you use your counters, keep track of these numbers and then just add them all together, however many microbits you have, and then you've got your total number of things you've counted. Okay? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. Good luck. Thank you very much for your efforts for Earth Day in helping support our environment.